On today's video, one of the biggest spenders in Rise of Kingdoms, if not the biggest spender, Baba, put a bombshell in the Facebook group of Rise of Kingdoms with his thoughts of the future of Rise of Kingdoms. In this video, we're gonna react to his post, talk a little bit about the things he talks about, as we talked about a lot of this in our State of Rise of Kingdoms video in 2021, and we will be answering the most important question. Is Baba quitting Rise of Kingdoms? So sit back, slap a like on the video, and let's go. Hey there YouTube, welcome back to Gekko Gaming. Holy bonkers, Baba just hit us with a bomb of a message on Facebook. I usually don't go into the Facebook group or react into the things going on there much because sometimes there's a lot more drama than anything else out there. And the thing about this post is it really resonates with me for many reasons. We're gonna read through it really quickly and then I'll give you my reaction and my thoughts about the things that he's talking about, including some agreements with him and disagreements on how he sees things and the outlook of the situation he mentions. But let's read the post first and then we go into talking about it into depth. Don't forget to, of course, drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. More 401 War videos coming up in the next few days. It's gonna be a fun time. So Baba says, future of Rise of Kingdoms. Hello, my friends. More and more of my friends quit the game. I get everyday offers to buy accounts. I'm sad that Lilith don't respect when 99% of the players tell them it's just not the same fun anymore like the old times. They make updates, yes, okay, but not with the things we all wish. I'm one of the big spenders in Rise of Kingdoms. Even for me, it makes no fun anymore like before. KVK 6 Heroic Anthem is over. We got all the rewards, but I'm not able to get a new skin with the freaking 5 coins. I must wait another Heroic Anthem to get the skin, and this is just one small example. It's all about spending money, yes, but when you spend more and more and more, you want more in-game also. I use the best computers, the best phones, the best internet connection, and my game still crashes and is lagging. Come on, man. What is this ish? And it makes no fun when the free-to-play players have no chance to get stronger, and I have no enemies left because they quit the game. I fully understand all. And the most ish thing that Lilith made is kick out the content creators from sponsoring. They made so much content for us. They helped us understand the game better. They entertain us, and this is the way to say thank you. Ex-devs from Lilith who were fired contacted me as Baba and told me insider information of Lilith. According to them, the devs created accounts and pushed them with power only to motivate big whales to spend more and more. I was really disappointed, and I'm also thinking about if it makes sense to still play this game in the future. Baba. Now, I kind of want to go through this message in order and kind of touch on the things that Baba mentioned because he is right about a lot of things, and also there are a couple of things that I disagree with. So let's start with the fact that more and more people are quitting the game. I do understand Baba's position as an older player in Rise of Kingdoms seeing this because those of us who have been playing the game for 2 years pretty much got bored of it. And it's really hard to find the fun in the game when the game mechanics are the same ones again and again, the same big issues repeat themselves. And even when new things are created in-game, they're just not up to par. As an example, Heroic Anthem had so many bugs, including past bugs that were a nightmare for coalitions. They have insane amounts of lags that they are never able to fix, and they'll never be able to fix either. And in general, they just find themselves in a situation where the folks who are here from day one just have fulfilled themselves in game. They've fulfilled themselves in game. It's just it, right? And so I think that I understand why he says this, but at the same time, there are more and more new players coming into the game and that are not fulfilled from Rise of Kingdoms yet. And this is why migrating to 401 was such a good thing, because I found myself surrounded with players that have not felt that fulfillment just yet, that are still enjoying the game and the game mechanics as they are. And I think that for Baba, the issue is that he is currently surrounded in Kingdom 59 with folks that are burnt out for the most part. And I think that if Baba finds a new home, a younger home, he would feel a very different experience in Rise of Kingdoms. And so that's point number one in the things he said. Lilith don't respect her. 99% of the players tell them it's not the same fun anymore as old times. I don't think that 99% of players say that. I think that majority of the older players might say that. But in that case, it's just, at some point, how many times can you do the same KVKs over and over, right? It's the same thing. You flag, you burn forts, you kill troops again and again and again. At some point, you're looking for something else to do. They make updates and but they make updates okay, but not with the things we all wish. I think that they do make updates with things that we wish, but they don't make them when we wish them to make them. By the time they make the updates and the changes that we ask of them, it's taken so long that we've already forgotten that we want this, and so much negativity came in the way of it. For example, we knew that crystal researches were ridiculously expensive, and by the time crystal researches were addressed, now past bugs are impossible. And yes, by the way, in case you've noticed, I have a slight horn right here. A pimple came out and it's just killing me. But anyway, ignore the horn or drop a pity like for the horn right there. It'll go away soon. But anyway, I had to. I see it on the screen and it's killing me. It's every time Lilith gives us the carrot, finally, it took a couple of hits from the stick. And it gets to the point where the carrot gets smaller and smaller and the hits of the stick get bigger and bigger. And that's a big problem. We've addressed a lot of this in the State of Rise of Kingdoms video I made, carded up on the top right, which I'll more than likely forget to card later on. But if I did, cool. If I didn't, State of Rise of Kingdoms in 2021 in this channel will give you pretty much my thoughts on all of this. KVK Heroic Anthem is over, and we got all the rewards but not able to get the new skin. I agree with that. It's just so stupid that we were able to always get a new KVK skin every single season, and now we gotta wait. And on top of that, you gotta pick between very, very important, crucial equipment for top-tier players compared to skins, which are also very important. I think that whole thing is completely messed up, and Lilith needs to figure out how to get that skin back into the honor system, even if it costs 1 coin away from rewards. It's just ridiculous. And that's just an example, but there are a lot of other examples in which essentially Lilith have changed the way rewards work, that they're less inclusive and more harder for you to pick which rewards you really want, which is not necessarily a good or a bad thing. It's all about spending money, yes, but when you spend more and more and more, you want more in game. And that's what I was saying earlier. You just max out the mechanics, and at this point, he's just spending and spending and doing the same thing again and again. And I'm really happy that he says this, because the vast majority of people think that it's all about free-to-play complain all the time, but understand that also the big spenders in Rise of Kingdoms are complaining about the fact that they're spending money and essentially doing the same thing they did before again and again, so what's the point? Lilith kind of addressed that when it came to equipment, right? Lilith went from commander-centric game to commander and equipment-centric game, where equipment can be attained throughout time while you're working on commanders. And that's that first evolution Rise of Kingdoms needed, but it came way too late. The whole concept of equipment came in way too late. The whole concept of revamping equipment to make it more accessible came way too late, which is literally Lilith's signature in the game. Everything is coming in way too late. And so it's not that the game is bad. It's just that it's taking too long for Lilith to make something that is fun into the game. And by the time we get what we wanted to have fun, we've already so exhausted from wanting for fun stuff, right? And so, as I mentioned, the carrot keeps getting smaller and the hits by the stick keep getting more and more painful. And so, as you can see, not even the big spenders have issues, not only the free-to-play players. Where were we? I use the best computers, the best phones, and the best internet connection, and the game's still crashing and lagging. Unfortunately, this will never change. One of the things that makes Rise of Kingdoms so beautiful is the commander skill animation, so you know which commanders are on the field and what they're doing. But the problem is when you have hundreds of commanders and 60 YSGs proc their arrows at the same time, and you have 5 Constantines just shining the light, and all of a sudden like bajillion of explosions, and you have Guan AoE, camera, focus up, don't be doing that, and Alex shields popping off. All that is just insane rendering capabilities that just, they're not meant for mobile phones. I can tell you that playing on my phone, and I have a Note S20 Ultra, like the strongest phone up until this, one of the strongest phones in the world right now, and I cannot play Rise of Kingdoms on it because it's just not optimized enough. I need to play on a tablet to be able to properly play this game. And also, screen space on a phone for a game like this is much tougher than a tablet. And so, unfortunately, the reality is, if you want to play Rise of Kingdoms at a high level, you have to have a tablet. The emulators are okay. The problem is you really need to figure out how to optimize them. They're not meant to be this crazily heavily done. And I can tell you that people like Ronnie, for example, who play a lot on an emulator, had to do a lot of customization to their settings until they managed to get them to the point where the game is running smoothly. And that's not something you should be doing to make a game work, right? It makes it no fun when free-to-play players have no chance in getting stronger, and I have no enemies left because they all quit the game. That I actually disagree with. The fact that Lilith made equipment so much more accessible means that, oh my god, my monitor is shut off, oops, makes it so that free-to-play players are now capable throughout time to build good equipment. I can give you an example from someone in 401 who has pretty much the same level of equipment in terms of infantry that I do. And he just, with time, built this equipment that became cheaper. Now, nowadays, having the commanders without the equipment is just as bad as not having the commanders, really, because the equipment is that significant. So the fact that Lilith made epic equipment more achievable did make free-to-play players a bit stronger, but in exchange, they also made legendaries much easier to get, and that kind of, like, negated that whole situation. I think that free-to-play players need the ability to get a little more commanders, a little bit more bang for their buck, a little bit more capabilities to grind. If you ask me, one of the things that I've always wanted was for barbarians to drop this certain currency that you could exchange for legendary commander sculptures. So if you want to grind through time barbarians or any neutral stuff, gathering barbarians, whatever it is, through time you accrue this currency which you can then later exchange for legendary commander sculptures. I think that would make the game so much better. And that's something that I've never mentioned before publicly on video. If you guys saw this in the video, leave me a comment down below and let me know what you think about my suggestion. But yeah, I think that free-to-play players have gotten a little bit the ability to get stronger, but not enough for sure. And again, Baba is surrounded with older players, not younger players, and therefore I see why he sees all of his opponents quitting. The most ish thing that Lilith made was to kick out the content creators from sponsoring. And I think in here he means me. And first of all, Baba, I really appreciate the kind words, my man. Baba is a friend, is someone that he migrated into Kingdom 59 to play with me, and we played together in JWM. And my only reason to stay in JWM as long as I did was because he was coming, and I honestly, the only thing I regret about leaving 59 was leaving him there. Anything else there? I mean, of course, there's a lot of people. There's Death and Bella and Taco and just a bunch of other names I can name off the top of my head. It's just incredible people. Zing, that I really like, and so many more people that I could mention from 59 that I miss playing with. Oopsie and all of them. But at the same time, Baba was really the one that I knew that I felt bad about leaving behind. And so thank you for the really kind words. They made the games, they made so much content. They helped us understand the game better. They entertain us. And this is how you say thank you. I mean, the funny thing is I'm still making content even more than I did before. And so for them, it's like, do we pay him to do content or do we not pay him and he still does it? It's kind of like a dumb thing out of me, right? But at the same time, I always did it for enjoying the game and enjoying to make content, and the sponsorship was just made it more viable, right? But I'm still out here, 2:42 a.m. right now, as you can see right there, recording a video, right? Because this is what I like to do. Ex-devs say that Lilith, who was fired, contacted Baba and told me insider information about Lilith. According to them, the devs created accounts and pushed them power only to motivate big whales to spend more and more. That doesn't surprise me much. That happens in these kinds of games. The devs have the ability to literally generate an in-game mail that'll send you bajillions of resources if they choose to do so. That's how they do VIP codes. That's how they do redeem codes. They create this code where if you put it in, you get an email with a bunch of items. That's pretty much the mechanism. And so it doesn't surprise me that they would get like some devs to get like hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of gems and speed ups and all that. And they'd power up and pretend to be like this king of Lord knows where and build a community and get themselves into a fight because the time that they're spending in there is motivating someone else to fight. That doesn't surprise me much. I wouldn't necessarily put it past Lilith, but because I know other games, developers of other games have done it and have done it very aggressively. It wouldn't shock me if this is a thing. I'm also thinking about if it makes sense to still play the game in the future or not in the future. And everybody thinks that in here, this means that he's quitting, right? I got tons of messages of people like, Baba's quitting, Baba's quitting, Baba's quitting. I messaged him. I talked to him. No, Baba is not quitting. Baba is not going anywhere. He might reduce, like all of us, he might reduce a little bit his game time as, he's bored of the game, as he has real life commitments. The man runs a very successful business during COVID time, which makes life much harder. And so you can't blame him for thinking whether or not it's worth for him to spend time and effort and money into a game where he doesn't feel as fulfilled anymore. My final thoughts are that I think that once Baba finds a new home, if he chooses to find a new home that is young and full of energy, I think he will be revitalized in his efforts in Rise of Kingdoms. But I do think that he's very, very spot on with a lot of the things he thinks about the future of Rise of Kingdoms. What do you all think? Leave me a comment down below and let me know. Baba, I hope you keep doing this. You're a great voice of the community and you're someone who voices his opinion no matter what, haters or lovers. At the end of the day, it takes guts for someone who is in the spotlight and hated as much as loved to voice an opinion and to say things. As a content creator who continually gets both support as well as insane amounts of hate, I know how hard it is for you to take the stage and get nasty comments for just opening your mouth. And so I appreciate what you did and what you're doing and what you keep doing. And yeah, what do you all think? I'm Gekko. I'm out of here. I will see you all tomorrow in another 401 War video. Take care. Have a great rest of your week. And yeah, I'm with Baba. But I'm still playing the game and still planning on making content. At least for now. Peace.